Princess Academy is probably my best known book because it won a Newbery honor, and it's hit its 10-year anniversary. And I know women come to me with babies in their arms and college degrees and say, "I used to read you when I was a kid." I'm like, "Huh?" Because I still feel like, fame, But Princess Academy, it was a quiet book. I was concerned that no one would like it. My first 2 books were big epic fantasies, and this was a much smaller, quieter book. And in fact, I remember in my couple events, I did tour back then, I was a small writer, and I tried to talk people out of buying it. Be like, that Goose Girl better, I don't know. I was sure it was going to be a huge flop. And so then when it won the Newbery honor, it just got so much wider readership than I ever could have imagined. And so I did have a concept. I only write one book at a time. I feel like books should be self-contained. Even if there's a series, each book should be self-contained. So I was going to write a sequel, but after I got the Newbery honor, I became shy of it. It didn't feel like mine anymore. It had gone out into the world, became readers. I got emails from people, and they would tell me, "I love your book, and I think you should write a sequel, and here's what should happen next." And I felt like if I wrote what I thought should happen next, it would be like denying them the right to tell their own story, and it really belonged to them. So it actually took me 7 years before I wrote Palace of Stone, and I eventually came to Palace of Stone because I couldn't resist it any longer. It had to get to the point where I couldn't almost sleep because the story wanted to be written so badly. But since that did well as well, I've decided to continue the series with Princess Academy Fists of Satin, which should be out next year, followed by Princess Academy Vampires in Love. And then we're going to take a little right turn with Princess Academy Revenge of the Mountain Goats. So that's a story that I haven't quite told yet. Princess Academy Laser Eyes, I'm not going to see that one coming, I'm going to tell you. Princess Academy, the one where Ross and Rachel learn to quarry speak. I have not yet secured the rights for that, so please don't tweet that yet. DJ Princess Academy's Mad Bleats. I just want to make sure I'm getting the kids of today. And Princess Academy Skin Harvest. It's a darker book, but ending with Princess Academy Doug. One thing I've learned about Princess Academy is, because I've been out for 10 years and meeting with people a lot, is certain reactions it gets from boys versus girls. Because it's on the Newbery list, a lot of teachers will teach it. And I've probably heard from 200, especially 4th and 5th grade teachers, and they tell me the same thing. When I told the kids we were going to read Princess Academy, the girls went, "Yay!" And the boys went, "No." And then, by the time we finished it, the boys liked it as much or more than the girls did. So it's not actually the content of the book that the boys don't like. It's what? Title. It's the word. And I asked boys, what did a princess do to you guys that you are so scared? Did a princess steal your dog? Did a princess kill your parents? I'm so sorry about that. They are haunted. These boys are afraid princesses are under their beds. They're going to come up in the night and suck out their eyeballs from their skulls. Scary, scary princesses! Really, what is it? It's really interesting to me. And I've learned so much, and I'll give you a few things that I've learned about why that is. But first I'm going to show you. I took a photo essays of people who read Princess Academy. You can read Princess Academy while curling 100-pound weights, while at the pool with your friends around town, with a mustache, up a tree, with power tools, at the park, up a mountain, in the Bat Cave. This is James Dashner reading Princess Academy. He wrote Maze Runner. And this is John Sheska. This actually started because John Sheska sent me this picture. And John Sheska, I adore John Sheska, and I adore guys read. And I think it's so important what they do and how they say, we need men modeling reading. We need men up in front showing that they read. I think that that's vital. And I'll give you one really horrible, sad story because Dave Pilkey's here. As all stories about Dave Pilkey are tragic. This one truly is. A bookseller in England told me one day a little boy came into the store and saw a display of Captain Underpants. And he ran up and he said, "Oh, I got this one, but I haven't read that one yet. Oh, I've read it in the library, but I haven't read that one yet." And then he turned to his dad and said, "Dad, do you like to read?" And his dad said, "No, not really." And the boy said, "Yeah, me neither." Oh, you guys, please laugh at me when I cry, because it's the booger hanging on the nose. I cry a lot. Is that just me? Do any of the writers cry all the time? Or is it just motherhood? Yeah, you cry too? Yeah. Oh, that story always gets me. And you don't know what happened after that. You don't know what changed. We do need men modeling and up in front, being proud and being readers. But I will say this. It does not have to be either or. It does not have to be boys need men and girls need women. And here's what I found. When I travel around sometimes and I go to schools, the school administrators will pull the girls out of class for my assembly and leave the boys behind. When the men come, the whole school is invited because men's voices are universally important and women only speak to girls. We say that and we say, no, that's not true. And yet, when a boy comes into your library or your classroom, what books do you offer him? Do you offer him a book with princess in the title? No. Boy, we learn how to empathize with other people different from us by what we read, even sometimes more deeply than the experiences we live. And if we're only asking boys to empathize with other boys, they're not learning to empathize with half of the human race. And it's scary. Women in here, can you imagine if you'd never read a book about a man? Well, you wouldn't have gone to college. One thing, what would we have studied? It's ridiculous to think about. But that's what we're asking boys to do. And it has to be, it's just so subtle. It can be so subtle. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It's just if we have 3 choices of books we offer them, and one of them's about a girl. And that's okay if they don't choose it. But by offering, we're saying, this is okay if you read it. And if we have a book we think they might like, and it happens to be about a girl, not saying something like, I know this is about a girl, but I think you'll like it. Yeah. It's not even necessary to say, I think you'll like this, the humor was really great in this. My son really liked this, I think you might enjoy it. That's all we need to say. If they don't, it's fine. But we need to be careful how we talk to boys about girls and reading. We're saying it's beneath them. We're saying they don't have to worry about girls and their inner lives. Princess Academy does have 3 books. Vampires in Love, unfortunately, not one of them. I just finished the 3rd. It comes out, then it will be the last. It comes out on Tuesday. And the first book began as a love letter to education. And in the 2nd book, I really delved into this idea that I'm talking about, the either or. It seems like we so often we want to split things down the middle and say you're either this or this. Mary in the 2nd book is dealing with, is she a city girl or is she a mountain girl? Is she a friend of the princess or is she a revolutionary? And ultimately, can't you be both? Can't we be both? With the 3rd book, because the series really is about education, it ends with Mary becoming a teacher. And it answers a big, big silent question that was screaming at me the whole time I was writing the 1st book that I didn't deal with. I can't tell you it or it will spoil the entire book. But where Princess Academy took place on a high mountaintop, this takes place in the exact kind of reverse environment. She's sent to be a teacher of 3 unruly cousins of the king who live in a swamp. And there is alligator wrestling. It's pretty fun. There's another series that I've done, I'll just briefly mention, Ever After High. I usually just write my own books. This is a work for hire with Mattel and the toy line. When they told me about it, I was like, I don't think so. That's not the kind of thing we're going to do. But I did it for 2 reasons.